So get this, Australia is pretty much isolated from everything else in the world. If you look at the map, Australia is shoved to the bottom like a skin tag that you'd rather just forget. So naturally, when we graduate and are dumped into the big real world, me, as well as every other Aussie, want to go here. Me and my family have done a bit of travelling in the past, but it has always been to the most whack locations. I haven't been to Hawaii or seen the Eiffel Tower, but I have mingled with the babushkas in Bulgaria, and I've flown a plane in Cosby Bay, New Zealand, and which still leaves the rest of this. So a Europe trip's something that I've always wanted to do. A proper Europe trip. Bulgaria was nice and all, but what can I say, I'm always hungry for more. When I approached my friends about it in early June, they were all 100% on board, but slowly one by one they started dropping out. I didn't care though, I was still 100% doing this trip. When I was planning, there were some hurdles that I faced along the way. Firstly, money. But then I realised that stuff grows on trees, also IGA was hiring, so that problem was solved. Secondly, I'm 17, I'm a baby, and a lot of places that don't take minors at all, and if they do, it's ridiculously expensive. I got around that with cheap Airbnbs and scabbing off friends who live in Europe. Thirdly, again, I'm a 17-year-old moody teen. I would basically be on the other side of the world by myself, which means planning, making sure my things don't get nabbed, and generally just getting places on time would be up to me.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
By far the hardest flight was from Cairns to Hong Kong. Even though it was only 6 hours, I didn't catch a wink and my arse ached. Then I had another 6 hours in Hong Kong to fill. I mostly just walked around and explored. I completely winged it to my gate too, but I got there. Caught a shuttle and everything. Had no idea if I was going in the right direction, but boom, sweet, gate 30. I bought some fried chicken from the Macca's, something that is not served back in Oz. I'll give you a rating, but I couldn't eat it. The meat was pink. Skin was good though. Next flight was from Hong Kong to Zurich, which was 14 hours. When I read that, me and my ass cried. But lo and behold, I got an entire row to myself. I took 2 Panadols and caxed it. I woke up 10 hours later, essentially skipping most of the flight. I also missed like 2 meals, but as soon as I woke up, they served breakfast. It was like they were waiting for me. I was told that the flight coming into Zurich was magic, but my view looked like this. I don't know if it's just a difference in camera quality, but either way, I was pretty disappointed. Zurich airport was creepy because there were heaps of people there but no one spoke and classical music played the whole time, kinda like Squid Game. I was able to buy deodorant solely with Hello, Ya and Nine. I hope the nervous sweating didn't give me away. It was an easy 3-hour stop over there before I got on my last plane to Portugal. The flight out of Zurich mogged the flight in, because when we got above the clouds the view looked like this. I wouldn't have minded staying here, but unfortunately I was already in a plane, several thousand feet in the air, and the ticket to Lisbon was expensive. I got a lovely view of what may or may not have been the Alps. Side note, it's so nice to finally be somewhere that doesn't require you to wring sweat out of your undies every time you even think about moving. As of writing this portion of the script, I'm on my flight to Lisbon, and the thing I'm most excited for is taking a shower. The flight into Lisbon was also really beautiful. It was cool to see that all the houses had the same colour palette of white on the sides and brown bricks on top. Gave the whole city a nice looking synergy before I even landed. Tiago was there to pick me up from the airport, and with that, my Europe trip officially began. Okay, so I forgot to vlog for like the first entire week, that's my bad. In that time though, we explored Lisbon, ate heaps of food, met Ronaldo, met Jesus, saw Timu Golden Gate Bridge, watched football, celebrated New Year's, hung out with Tiago's family, got almost killed by his cousins, and a bunch of other cool things. The thing that I was most impressed by in Lisbon was its architecture, genuinely stunning. So much better than Australia, or Cairns at least. Today, Tiago and I went off by ourselves to various museums in Lisbon. We started off by seeing his team, Sporting Stadium. Next was the aquarium, and it was pretty cool. They even had a tropical exhibit that reminded us of home because the second that we stepped in there, we started sweating balls. That's enough. We visited the gift store and then we got a francesinha from the mall, which is basically like a burger with egg and gravy on top. I don't know, but it would do numbers in Australia. Next we rode the Sky Rail, which is also really pretty. Finally, we tried to see the government museum, but it was closed, so we just took this epic picture. After that, Tiago and I just sat down and people watched. I rate this day 10 out of 10. I'm very excited for tomorrow. Sintra's a little town that's an hour's drive away from Lisbon, and Tiago's mum wanted to show us too. The traffic was so congested coming in, and we kept seeing signs that basically said, when we got to the bottom of the hill, you got a clear view of the castles on the top. I didn't even know this town had castles before, so that was a cool bonus. I was just happy to be there. Then it turned out we actually got to go up to the castles, and that was amazing. There were so many people though, but I don't think that Disneyland comment was really realistic. There were way more people at Disneyland. Seriously, you couldn't even breathe here without people rubbing up on you. It was still very beautiful though. Then we got to go inside and look around because the king and queen used to live here. I don't remember much, it was a lot of old architecture, but the ceilings were nice. I was very tired. Time to go. On the way back to Lisbon, we stopped at one of the beaches. There were a lot less people here, so it was nice to just sit back and unwind. Another 10 out of 10 day. Woo! What could possibly top this? As sporting fans, we infiltrated a Benfica game, cheering for Benfica. We were just pretending though. The stadium was crazy. They even had an eagle flying around that at the end sat down on the trophy to complete the symbol. I watched a few Women's World Cup games last year in Australia, but never a European one live. They lost. And with that, it was time to leave Portugal. We hopped on the first of many trains to get to Madrid and said goodbye to Tiago's family, and off we went. And I forgot to mention that Tiago's tagging along as well. I was sad to leave Lisbon and Tiago's family, but Madrid was always the place that I was most excited to go to on this Europe trip. It was time to put this 2-year Duolingo streak to work.